Hello and welcome to another Teacher's Corner. I'm Teacher Kirby. Before we get started, please remember if you like what you see, click that like and subscribe button and ring that bell so you'll get notified every time I upload a video. This Teacher's Corner is going to be about the recommended DPS skill tree. This is something we discuss quite often on the Discord that I usually hang out in, and that is the Temporal Operations Discord. You can find a link to that in the description if you're interested in joining us. So this is discussed quite often with some of the top players in the game, and so we're going to delve right in. This is something I've been asked about a lot. What skill points should I be using, or what skill tree should I be using to get maximum DPS? So here it is, the current recommended skill tree. Okay, so in our lieutenant tier, the very bottom tier, we have 3 points in hull capacity. As you can see there, hull capacity. And this gives us just extra hull points. Nothing fancy, just extra hull points. So you're a little harder to kill. And then we have 3 points in energy weapon training. Now this gives us extra power in our energy weapons. And then we have 3 points in our projectile weapon training. And this gives us extra points in our torpedoes and mines. Now it is important to note we take both. This gives us flexibility, so you can have a mixed build with both energy weapons and projectile weapons, or you can have one with projectile weapons or one with all energy weapons. What this really gives us the ability to do is be flexible, so you don't have to go and respec if the meta changes. And as an example, a year or two ago, the meta was all energy weapons, no torps. Then it shifted to all energy weapons and 1 torp, or most energy weapons but 1 torp. Right now, as I record this, the current meta for the guys making the most DPS is all torps. So having both things maxed out gives you the flexibility to go either way and not have to worry about, do I need a respec? Alright, so moving right along, on our lieutenant commander level, we take 2 points in EPS flow. This is especially important for energy weapon builds because EPS, or translates to power transfer rate, and the higher your power transfer rate, the faster that your weapon's subsystem is going to recharge after firing a weapon. So that gives you the ability to quickly recharge your weapons, and therefore your weapons will do more damage. Okay? And then we also take 2 points in impulse expertise. This just very simply makes you move faster. The faster you move, the faster you get somewhere, the faster you can start shooting at things. Plain and simple. Then we have, and again we're back to something we're taking for flexibility, control expertise and control amplification. So control expertise we take so that we can have the flexibility to add something like a gravity well to our ship. If we change ships, we can add a quick gravity well, and this gives it the ability to actually pull things, or gives us some points. Control amplification we take because if we do use something like a gravity well or other control ability, this gives a reduction to our enemy's damage resistance of 20. So this makes them a lot easier to kill. Alright, moving right along over to the tactical, we take advanced, or we take 3 points in targeting expertise. This is just straight up accuracy. It helps us to hit things that we shoot at, and also if we have enough accuracy, we start getting into what we call accuracy overflow, where the additional accuracy translates to critical severity, or critical chance, sorry. Alright, and then we have shield regeneration on our commander level. Shield regeneration obviously helps our shields to regenerate. And then we have, of course, 3 points in weapon amplification, which is critical chance. 3 points in weapon specialization, critical severity in game. Alright, and then moving right along, we have on our captain level, we have 3 points in exotic particle generator. This allows us to, again, this is a flexibility take. This allows us to have the flexibility to use science abilities that are charged by EPG, or exotic particle generator. This is things like gravity well, subspace vortex, destabilizing resonance beam. The rifts on the gravimetric torpedo, for example, are also charged by EPG. There's a number of things in game that if you look at it, they're affected by exotic particle generator. And so this gives us the flexibility to use those things and have them actually have some oomph behind them. Alright, and then we have, now this is a take that you always take for any energy weapon boat. If I do nothing today, take this if you use energy weapons. Okay? And I'll explain why in a minute. This is long range targeting sensors. Here's why you take long range targeting sensors. This skill reduces the weapon damage penalty incurred by being distant from your target. Here's what that means. When you have energy weapons, either beams or cannons, does not matter which, when you are 9.9 kilometers from your target, your energy weapons lose 50% of their potential. In other words, if you're doing 100 DPS when you're right at them, you are only doing 50 DPS when you're 10 kilometers away. Okay? So if you're 2 kilometers or closer, no penalty. It scales out up to 10 kilometers and you lose 50%. Okay? Each rank of long-range targeting sensors adds or reduces the penalty by 10%. So when you take all three, that means you only have a 20% penalty. So instead of losing 50%, you only lose 20%. So what that means is when you're 10 kilometers away, your weapons are still firing at 80% of the original damage versus 50% from someone who doesn't take it. So this is a no-brainer. Always, always, always take long-range targeting sensors, and always, for the love of God, take all 3 points. Okay? If I get nothing ingrained into your head today, that's it. Always take long-range targeting sensors, and always take all 3 points. Alright, and then we have in tactical, we have our hull penetration. Okay, so what this does is it makes it easier for us to fire or target easier for us to do damage on our enemies' hulls. And then we have shield penetration. This makes it easier to do damage against shields. We penetrate more through the shields to actually get to the hull. Alright, and then on our Admiral tab, we take, there it is, we take our improved warp core potential. That's 2 points in warp core potential. We'll get to why in a second. and then we take warp core efficiency. So warp core potential just gives us straight up power to all 4 subsystems. Warp core efficiency is a little different, and I'll show you why. Warp core efficiency gives us up to 10 subsystem power based on the subsystem target. So, for example, when you go through and you set your power levels, now I usually set mine to where beams is at 100, or weapon subsystem is at 100. The aux is at 70, and the shields and the engines are at 15. Okay? So what happens here is my shields and my engines get an extra plus 10 subsystem power because their target is set at 15. Okay? So instead of being at 15, they have power up to at 25 now before any other bonuses are added. Okay? So pretty simple there. And then we have our coordination protocols. We have defensive coordination, and then we have offensive coordination, and these deal with teammates. So let's take a quick look. So defensive coordination, all your hangar pets have increased defensive capabilities. They get 20% defense and damage resistance rating for your hangar pets. Alright. For your offensive coordination, your hangar pets get plus 20% accuracy and base damage for hangar pets. Again, this gives you flexibility so you can take a ship that has hangar pets and you don't need to worry about respecking. And for coordination protocols, all of your hangar pets have increased survivability. They get plus 20% hull capacity and shield capacity. Alright, so again, this is a flexibility take. This allows you to stay flexible and be able to fly a ship that has hangar pets and not worry, are they going to be doing the best they can. Alright, and then we have our tactical readiness. Tactical readiness, let's right click that. Tactical readiness gives you an extra ability recharge. So this gives you a 20% recharge bonus. This means that your tactical abilities will be ready faster. The cooldown will not be as long as normal. Okay, so there you go. So you get an extra 20%. It's important to note that with a normal aux to bat build, with the 3 purple engineers, the cooldown reduction there is 30%. So something to think about there. So we're pretty close here. Alright, now this is the points that you take on the 5 levels. Now the other thing we need to talk about, or we should talk about, is the skill unlocks. So you have engineering, science, and tactical, of course. And the other thing to remember, I'll do it down here, we've taken 27 points in tactical. That is enough to get the tactical ultimate. We'll get there in a minute. Alright, so engineering. We have skill unlocks. So, first thing we're going to do is choose battery expertise. You always do battery expertise because normally if you're doing DPS, you are using batteries. Now this can be energy weapon batteries, this can be projectile batteries, this can be exotic particle flood batteries, but you are generally using batteries. This gives the magnitude of most batteries and device effects by 100%, meaning it doubles the length of your battery effectiveness. So there you go. Moving right along, we have our skill selection, maximum hull capacity or subsystem repair. I usually choose hull capacity because that way it gives you extra hull. There is an argument for subsystem repair because we are no longer using hot repairs or hot fixes on our subsystems. So it's usually left blank because it's an either or. Depends on what it is you find you need the most. Alright, so moving right along. Then we have our science skill unlocks. We have 2 here. So we have sector, space, travel, and speed. This is usually chosen. This is actually an either or because it's not going to make a difference in combat. I usually choose transwarp because I prefer to transwarp everywhere. If you find that you like to do tour the galaxy a lot, then choose sector, space, speed, travel because that's going to help you to visit more systems. Alright, and then of course this one was actually not a thing. Okay. And moving right along, we have our tactical. Here we go. So we always take threat control for our tactical because this gives us an additional plus 100 threat generation while in threatening stance and minus 100% threat generation while not in threatening stance. So basically it gives you extra threat if that's what you're trying to do, and if you don't want threat, it gives you less threat generation. Okay, and then we have our critical chance for projectiles. We always take critical chance, whether it's projectile or energy weapons, we always take critical chance. So then we're down to our energy critical chance. On our accuracy or defense, take accuracy for that accuracy overflow. And then we have our ultimate ability. So we're taking all 3 because we have unlocked all 3 abilities. So we have frenzied reaction. So first, our ultimate ability that we unlocked is called focused frenzy. You mark the target foe and devote all available resources to taking them down. Each time you hit the marked foe with an energy weapon, your weapon's firing cycles will speed up progressively faster and faster. That's the actual ability. Now, these 3 over here on the ultimate selection are enhancements to focused frenzy. So we have frenzied reactions. So in addition to all of these things, your cycle's going faster and faster. You also reduce bridge officer cooldowns with each hit. With frenzied assault, you also gain a stacking damage bonus with each hit. And with team frenzy, allies firing on your marked foe will also gain stacks of frenzy and associated benefits. So with team frenzy, you're helping your entire team to do more damage. With frenzied assault, you're getting a damage bonus in addition to firing cycle haste. And with frenzied reactions, you're getting bridge officer cooldowns in addition to firing cycle haste. Okay, so that is our skill unlocks. So pretty simple. As you can see, this is focused on DPS. The idea behind this tree is the best defense is a good offense. In other words, the idea behind this tree is to give you a foundation of killing them before they kill you, which is why you'll notice it doesn't have the armor and all of that. It's very, it doesn't have a lot of the defensive, things here. So, again, the idea, kill them before they kill you. And there you go. So that is the DPS weighted skill tree that most of the high DPSers are using. Again, we discuss this tree all the time in our Discord, in the Temporal Operations Discord, where a good number of the highest DPSing players hang out, and we discuss these things. So if you'd like to join us, the link is in the description of this video. And remember, if you like what you see, click that like and subscribe button. Consider supporting Teachers Corner through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Click the join button or the Patreon link. Alright, this is Teacher Kirby signing off, and I'll see you next time.